Anyone ever talk about talking about an hour and a half, 2 hours, like, no And we stuck around and here like little things that we call but you
At ease. Stay standing for the first part of our commander's call. Yeah, at ease, right? Okay, how's everybody doing? Good. Happy Muley Day. Thanks for wearing your face coverings. This is going to be a little bit longer of a commander's call, but for good reason. We're going to run through quarterly and annual awards. But to start off, I'd like to get Master Sergeant Dashner up here. Dash, where you at? Take the rightful place. There, looks amazing. All right. What was your
Attention order. This is certified that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Master Sergeant Jeffrey A. Dashner for meritorious service 28 January 2017 to 15 January 2021. Master Sergeant Jeffrey A. Dashner distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Section Chief, Transition Flight 22nd Airlift Squadron, 60th Operations Group, 60th Air Mobility Wing, Travis Air Force Base, California. During this period, Sergeant Dashner's leadership was instrumental in managing 67 students and line flyers for the squadron's newly created transition flight, which eliminated the administrative burden from an inundated training flight. As Section Chief, he managed the onboarding for 22 new squadron members and innovated an effective telework process to accomplish career counseling and guidance for 25 non-commissioned officers. Furthermore, the flight chief of training, Sergeant Dashner led a 41-member instructor team through a 525% surge in students. Through this influx, he expertly progressed the upgrades of 27 initial qualification students and requalification of 4 critical aviators. Finally, Sergeant Dashner's aviation expertise was highlighted when the Air Mobility Command selected him to review the C5M Formal Training Unit's Flight Engineer Initial Qualification course. As a subject matter expert, his team authored 50 syllabus changes requests and eliminated 17 courseware hours and repurposed 3 training flights per student. Sergeant Dashner's sustained excellence resulted in him being selected as the 60th Air Mobility Wing's Instructor of the Year for 2019. The singular distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Dashner reflect great credit on himself, the United States Air Force.
Thanks. We're getting it. Still my turn to talk. Ferris Dash, whatever. Take a seat. Take a seat. All right, disclaimer. This photo was taken pre-COVID, right? It was during COVID. Everybody had a mask on. So just the first disclaimer there. Okay. Holy smokes. We keep saying goodbye to all these, hallmark individuals with the double deuce. 11 years. 11 years, and we're finally getting rid of Dash. No, it only took an MSM and an assignment to Germany to do it. But brother, your leaving is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of us. Goodness, all kidding aside, Dash, he's really been the face of the double deuce flight engineer mafia for some time now. It's not just because he has that righteous Magnum PI mustache underneath that mask, as you can see right here. I think it's even fuller and more robust than we see in the photo. And it's also not because of the etiquette parties that he had thrown before COVID, right? At the Dashner Villa for all of his brothers and sisters in the double deuce. But really, he's a man of influence. He's a muley of influence in the double deuce. And what I mean by that? So he's the engineer that the young captains on their OME check ride, right? We got one out right now, who goes and bribes the schedulers to get on that mission because they know you're going to have their back, and you've got 4,500 hours of experience. And Fred, wrap your head around that. 4,500 hours. You're the NCOIC. You're the leader that the crew wants when someone with guts and mental fortitude is required to walk down to that cargo box when a disgruntled and unruly senior from the airport squadron walks in and tells us how to do our job, right? So you're protecting the team. You're that face. You're the wingman, the friend, the fellow muley that this family has been blessed to have these 11 years. Accomplishments. I already talked about the 4,500 hours for those young folks in the room. That's a lot. That is a lot. It's more than I have altogether, and he hasn't been Fred. 2019, we already talked about this in the deck. 2019, OG Instructor, Flight Engineer of the Year. 2018, Alpine Swift OG winner. How many hours was that?
880.
880.
I was going for 1,000, but I didn't get insurance.
880. Like there's pilots that are watching right now, and in this room they're like salivating. Like, what do I need to do to get there in 8 hours in 1 year? Right? That's pretty much that's almost impossible. I'm not going to mention the duty titles. I've got like half a page of duty titles. Is there a shop you haven't been in? He hasn't been the commander yet, you know what I mean? But like every other shop, he's pretty much been in the double deuce. And what's important to bring up is he's had an impact in every one of those shops, not just in the processes, not just in the admin. Like, yeah, we all have to do that as part of our additional duty. But he's had an impact on everybody, every team that he's been with, each small team, right? This is some of the parts that equates the double deuce. Let's see, when we sat down, I love sitting down doing those alpharies. They last from 22 minutes to an hour. And what I find is what I think about the person usually gets kind of, or what I know about the person usually kind of gets reinforced. But then I get a peek into like what makes them go, their soul, their drive, what's in their mind, what's in their heart. And we sat and talked. That went a good hour. Got some really good feedback for me. Got some good feedback for the squadron. We talked about what Dash is most proud of. And for those of us that know him, right, he's been here 11 years, it's not going to shock you. But when I read these different elements, I want you to think about, who Dash is, what drives him, what, makes him a muley, right? Because if there's someone who's a muley, it's Dash, right? He's lived here, he's breathed here, he's bled here, he's sweat, he's cried here for 11 years. So, most proud, being part of a squadron that values its people. People, I underlined it like 3 times when I was writing this down. Like, he's a people person. Dash, if he's the instructor you have, like, he may not be the instructor you want because he's going to be tough on you, but he's the instructor you need because he's going to make sure that you're going to crush that check ride. But he's also going to be that soft side, right? Whenever you do fail, that he's going to say, hey, here's what you need to do, and I'm here to pick you up along the way. He's who you're going to want to go talk to before that check ride or when you have a bad day on the line because he cares about you. He cares about his airmen. He has a heart for airmen. Favorite memory, flying the line with some of the best and most professional folks in the world. Specifically, you said the 2015 ConOps crew. Who was on that?
So Captain Tell, Captain Hill, Captain Fowler, Lima, and Bennett, and Vance, and Baker, Alden Barker. It was just a really, really good crew. We all meshed together. We flew. I think we had the most hours. It was just a really good crew. We just all were on the same page at the same time. It was awesome.
I mean, and that's what's cool about what we do. There's no hard crews, right? So the good and bad of that is if you had an all-star crew that you love and you're all friends, hard crew's good. But not having the hard crew lets you fly with everybody, and everyone who has their specialty gets to rub off on each other. But every once in a while, when the moon aligns with the stars and the schedules get brought just right, and you get that all-star crew, right? It's awesome, right? It's almost like Nirvana on the road. And for a ConOps, it's going to go nearly a month. Like, that's like hitting a lottery. So that's super cool. He has a passion to fly and teach. When I read that, I was like, what does he love to do? It's a passion. His passion for flying, his passion to be in the air. Whether he's got those like god awful slippers that are like they're like rocket slippers. I think they're 11 years old. I'm pretty sure those things have 4,500 hours on it as well. But he's just got a passion to fly and teach, right? And that just kind of blends in with the airmen, the heart for airmen as well. The advice. This is always important, right, for the folks in the room to listen to. make the squadron your own, be inclusive, hang out with folks outside your comfort zone, and be part of the squadron events. And I read that and I was like, man, I did not write him to say that. I was like, is that a plug for Muley Day? I think it is. I think it is. Muley Day today, guys, right? I'll get into that in my admin part on my slide later. So the question is, where's he headed? All right. He's headed to the 76th Airlift Squadron. That's Ramstein Air Force Base, flying the
C-37, G5.
Gulfstreams, right? Super, super cool guys, right? G550s. Super cool. I'm excited for him to go do that. It's super, super hard. I'm looking forward to get you back in 3 to 4 years. Maybe another strike on top of that master. A few things. I'm not going to forget the patch either. Okay. There's no room on it, but I mean, I was like, can we write on the underside of the elevator or on the top? Because like we're out of room, guys. On the opposite. This one because do this. Oh.
Flight suit, that one. I wrote some notes down, but I think I got them. So this one's for Joel. I got a lot of prompts from you people, and now you're gonna hear about it. All right. So I wanted to say this because you guys, when somebody leaves here that's been here for a while, they always say a lot of you new guys don't understand. But this is a special because the people they love the once you get out flying and once you really start to know somebody. And it's weird in this squadron, you won't know somebody, you won't remember their name until you fly with them, and then you'll never forget them. It's really weird. You'll see a person that's been in the squadron for 2 years, you don't even know their name. You know their face, but not their name, and then you'll fly with them and you'll never forget them. And that's why flying is so magical. Colonel Trumbull said, and I did participate in squadron events. I remember being young and getting to a squadron and being like, oh, this mandatory fun crap, it sucks, but this squadron makes it so much fun. And you may not you at the time participate, but I promise you, if you do, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna meet some really cool, awesome people. And last, nobody cares about your career more than you do. If you think that you're at a level that you need to, you should be get an award and your supervisor's not writing, there's something to that effect, go to that supervisor and have that conversation. They may be busy and they may overlook it. So just make sure you take care of yourself as well as the people below you. And that's all I got. Thanks for letting me be in the squadron for 11 years. It's been awesome. Thanks.
Keep going with Port Corps. We're going to have Captain Crandall come up here and get you on the road.
All right, so we're getting tighter on our program. Come by and give the chief a handshake, come to the center, and then we'll do a shake, take, salute with hardware. Now, I know Colonel Johnson came by, let's see here, was it yesterday or the day before? Wednesday. Yeah, so he came by Wednesday. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Chief. So he came by on Wednesday and announced who the winners were. So we got a little ahead of us, right? So it wasn't quite ideal, but we didn't have a lot of folks in the room. So I'm hoping it's a surprise for most of our team here today. So without further ado, let's get started. And we've got about, I think, 25% of the folks here. The other folks are on the road, TDY, etc. So the folks that aren't here will be a last slide, and we'll just have a round of applause for them because they're watching online. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Randall, thanks for all the hard work, along with Street Rest and the rest of the awards team. Okay, awesome.
Morning, everybody. So I just want to say this is probably one of my favorite parts of my job because I know a lot of you in the room work tirelessly on these award packages. It feels like every quarter just ends, the next one starts immediately, and you're already working on the next one. So thank you for everyone in the room who worked so hard. And this is where we get to have the fun part, right? And award you guys. So going right into it, fourth quarter awards. So we have,
fourth quarter Diamond Shark.
all right.
Hey, good morning, Muleys. All right, how's everyone doing today? Good. Muley Day. Cool. All right, so Diamond Shark Award, right? This is something that the first sergeants really take pride in. Over the last year, we've really been getting out there across the wing, allocating for this award. So what it is, it recognizes airmen who contribute to the betterness of airmen, their units, base level, community, or Air Force as a whole, right? So kind of has the same attributes as a first sergeant per se. So for this quarter, for fourth quarter, there was a muley submitted with a package, one at squadron level, the OG level. So if you can come on up, Senior Airman Joseph Mitchell. Oh. All right, so I got to brag on this guy real quick, all right? So Airman Mitchell, earlier last year, right after COVID started, right, had some that he grew up with his whole life, which your mother teaches sign language. You said you have a deaf aunt. He took advantage of getting with a group of airmen on base and starting an American Sign Language Club here for Travis Air Force Base, right? So through that year, he is the founder of the club, and he's recruited 15 other members to join that club. And in this last quarter, he attended 3 different deaf socials throughout the Bay Area to bring back that education to our fellow airmen. And on top of that, he's got with a career assistance advisor, and he's gotten approval to bring brand new airmen coming into the Air Force on this rare educational opportunity. So without further ado, on behalf of the Travis First Sergeants, we really appreciate you, Joe, and thanks for everything you do.
Nice.
All right, and that's not it. I got something else for you, so don't drop it. Pretty sweet First Sergeant. Yeah. $20 gift card for Athens.
The real win.
Thanks.
Awesome. All righty. Keeping on moving. All right. We've got Airman of the Quarter. So thanks to his help and upload of over 265,000 pounds worth of anti-submarine equipment in the Persian Gulf, the undersea defense is obviously bolstered there, and the organization of the community food drive, your peers and leadership wanted to recognize you for all of your efforts. So congratulations, Senior Airman Southern.
All right. Where we go? Sorry. Take out. Smiling eyes.
All right, Civilian of the Quarter. Her unwavering support to the advance of 70 upgrades and 65 school reports, which required coordination of over 10 of the flights in the squadron, as well as spearheading 7 staffer briefs to increase the squadron's awareness and resilience. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Ms. Christy Hunter.
All right.
All right, moving right along. Team of the Quarter, RSMETL, a score which gives higher command a better understanding of our mission ready status. Shows exactly the type of multi-integration the squadron's all about. So congratulations to the readiness flight.
Right it is.
Aircrew Support of the Quarter. Having audited over 230, excellent in the IG inspection, it's clear that why this individual deserves this award. So congratulations to Staff Sergeant Hanson. All right, Squadron Service of the Quarter. So this is a newer award as of 2020. Squadron Service is given to an individual who exemplifies not only the excellence in their respective C5 role, not only in the office, but just as a person. Really shows, kind of like Destiny, an amazing person who does an amazing job. Thanks to the selflessness of this individual, 240 hours were dedicated to the And that's it for the people who are here, but we still want to make sure we recognize everybody else. Congratulations to all of these people. Thank you so much for your hard work this last quarter. Obviously, a lot of these people are actually on the road right now, continuing to be excellent. So let's get another round of applause for those guys. And moving right along to the annual awards. So again, this is same stuff, but now we're looking at the entire year. So thank you guys again so much for all your hard work and dedication to all the packages. Let's get right into NCO of the year. All right, this direct and committed involvement in the 7 program instructors for the 3 NASA and first ever Space Force mission that we did, as well as the first ever online basic instructor course, has been a huge factor in the decision to give this award. So thank you for all your hard work. Tech Sergeant Ty Waters.
Time. We're not messing around this year. There you go. So we'll do like this. You.
All right, FGO of the year. Even in the 36 missions out the door, assuring over 1,000 flight hours and 11 million pounds of cargo moved. Their involvement in standing up support groups during COVID was just the cherry on top. So thank you so much, Major Billy Hill. Civilian of the year. Someone who's dedicated themselves to the squadron, directing over $500,000 over our budget, signing travel vouchers, approving the movement of funds, and organizing the SecDef OPSEC training, as well as countless other attributes. It's no wonder that Miss Christy Hunter, again, takes it for Civilian of the Year. Aircrew Support of the Year. So having worked closely with this person on many occasions, I know them for working tirelessly. He stays late into the night. He comes in early in the day. Also, he's been dedicating himself to the arms program throughout the year and inspection of 518 of the aircrew training folders. These are just a few things that he does in the squadron on top of being in the Booster Club.
Sorry, guys. It looks like the squadron's internet is awful yet again. So please stand by. I'm trying to get them back on, and we'll continue, okay?
Wrapped into one as a peer vote. This is a huge win in my mind. And if you're the recipient of this, it's a validation of your effort, right? It's a validation. I think what you'll see is you've been honored previously in a normal 1206 win, like an annual quarterly award. But this is a validation that, you know what, I'm not just impressing the supervisors above me, but I'm of value to the team, to my Muley family. So this is huge. This is an emotional event, at least for me. I know it will be for a few folks who get to call up here in a second. Okay, let's do it.
Muley of the Year, Loadmaster. He's not here, but K-Rob.
K-Rob. What's K-Rob doing? K-Rob's working. That's what he does, right? So he's on the first official MSTT that's at Fort Campbell. I think they just landed yesterday, right? So far, so good. Fred's cooperating. We'll keep our fingers crossed that sucker just keeps on moving along. And K-Rob's leading the way, as he always does. So it's just well deserved. All right.
Muley of the Year, Flight Engineer, goes to Dash.
Dash! Awesome. Right?
Muley of the Year, Pilot, goes to Major Adam
Adam Smith, get up here.
Muley of the Year, Air Crew Support, goes to First Lieutenant Lindsey Fry.
Lindsey Fry. Okay, we're gonna continue with the rest of the normal all-call rights. So Chief Mouse is down here in a second. I'll have some comments at the end, but I just want to say thanks to all the frontline supervisors, all the murder boards, all the hard work. I mean, this just doesn't happen by itself. There's a lot of effort that goes behind all that. The execs coordinating, like I said, all the supervisors, flight chiefs, frontline leadership. It's all really, really good stuff. And then most important, the members are actually putting their butts on the line. They're doing this extra hard work. So one more round of applause for the whole team. And last but not least, the whole awards and decks team for honchoing all of this from the hardware on down. All right, rock and roll.
All right, normal, here we go. Calendar, active shooter training after this at 10 o'clock. For those who need it, or just reset your counter. Muley Day, early release at 11 o'clock. The command staff will speak to that here in a little bit. President's Day coming up next month. Hack in the Mish, one crew downrange and one crew still at the States at MSTT. Everything looking good. Should probably spin up here in a little bit. We're here for readiness, Captain Vaughn.
Cool. Just two quick things for y'all. Already mentioned East training. It's a 3-year currency, and you'll only ever find out that you're due when you go to do your mobility floor review, and you're not able to. So just double check that real quick, and if you need it, most of you have been already reached, but just stay behind after the all-call and get that done.
What's the item again? What was it?
East training,
East.
expeditionary active shooter training.
Okay,
right. So this is a once-in-a-year opportunity where the security forces is coming over and providing this training for us. Otherwise, you have to go to them. And then the flu vaccine, just keep pushing that one with you guys and all your subordinates as well. We still have about 50 people that need to get it done, and a lot of you had alibis for the last one, but just keep pushing for it. If you got it done off base and it's not showing that you're good in ASIMs, take your receipt over to Immunizations Clinic. They have a little drop box that you can drop it in, and then they'll update it for you. That's all I got. Thanks all.
All right, what a bittersweet day. Hey, Dash, I know it's only been a couple months, you're at the room, but I appreciate everything that you did working with me on certain things. So have fun out there in Germany. But yeah, bittersweet day, right? This is obviously the best part of my job. Honestly, other than promotions, it's just recognition, very point blank. So congratulations to all the award winners out there. Just a couple of quick plugs real quick. So obviously don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but marijuana, THC, CBD use, right, on base in the military, period, point blank for us, right? We all wear the same uniform. We're all sponsors to dependents also, right? And we all have friends inside the gate that wear the same uniform, and we all have friends outside the gate that don't wear the uniform. So just some very important key points to hit on that, right? So as the sponsor, right, if you bring a civilian on base or a dependent that has any type of THC or any type of marijuana products or paraphernalia, you will be held accountable as a sponsor. So don't get yourself in that situation. Obviously, we're in California. It is legal for them, not so much for us. And of course, you know, there's already a risk associated with this uniform. And on top of that, extra risk that you guys take every day wearing those flight suits. So, you know, being associated with, you know, that type of those type of actions is obviously adding even more risk, right? Whether it be a dependent or not. Obviously, it's legal for them. Have them do it away from you. Have them do it off base. Do not bring it on base. And yeah, on top of that, you know, just to kind of push it forward, I don't want to see anyone get in that situation. The command team doesn't want to see anyone get in that situation. All right, second plug real quick. Firearm registration on base, right? It's become kind of a more of a hot topic, right? So obviously, if you bring firearms into the state of California, you have to register them with the state. If you live on base, you also have to register them with security forces. They don't have to stay in the armory. They can stay in your residence, but they have to be registered on base. They've had a few situations where they went to domestic disputes. Obviously, it's one of the big things. They do a sweep of the house. They're finding weapons that aren't registered on base, and right then and there, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the installation commander's orders. So please, if you got any questions on that, I have all the paperwork. I brief it at my process and briefs when you guys come and see me. So please, please, please don't get caught in this situation either. Other than that, everyone have a safe and happy weekend.
Hey, sure.
Morning. All right. So, a couple quick housekeeping things. So we're about 2 months out from PT testing, right? So that is an individual responsibility for yourself, and it's a term of employment, right? So I can't run for you. I can't do push-ups for you. So if you haven't started, I know there's a lot of people, please get out there, do your run, do whatever you got to do to get down and get ready for this test. All right. I mean, it's going to be a pandemic of PT failures across the Air Force, right? Let's not try to be part of that statistic. I mentioned this last time, BRED is still an issue, so please, if you haven't looked at your BRED lately, please get into Roche MPF. It takes you 2 minutes, you're done, but they need that updated. And so as leadership, we're happy to see that you want to do something else, right? We love having you, but if you want to go out and like say, you know, I want to do Skill Bridge, I want to do Palace Chase, hey, I want to be your first shirt, I want to do some DSD, I want to do all this stuff, right? We're all about that and opportunities. We want you to succeed, right? But with that, please use your chain of command. All right. So if you want to do stuff like that, we're more than welcome to hear it, but please use your chain of command, right? We always say we have an open door policy, right? The commander, myself, your flight leadership, but please use your chain of command, just don't walk in. Copy? All right, thanks. All right, and lastly, I just want to say, we celebrated individuals today, right? But 95% of those bullets on those things weren't that one person doing it all by himself, right? It's a team effort, right? And we all, as a team, helped them get where they were. I'm proud of every muley. We had the winners, of course, who gave me applause. We have the nominees, right? And we have the people that spent the tireless hours of writing those packages and getting them ready at every change, every OG change that came down the last minute. You're like, no more acronyms. Okay, let's change. And then lastly, the sound professionals that sit there, they nug it out, and they don't look for recognition. So we recognize you and we see you too. So thank you very much for that. And honestly, with or without the trophy, this family produces winners, all right, at all levels. You'll see that with assignments, right, and other accolades around. So, but other than that, I just want to thank you guys for crushing it in Garrison and on the road, and keep it up.
Actually, going to Office Superintendent.
Yeah, just whatever.
All right, good morning, happy Friday. Today's a little more ops focused all call, so I got a whole bunch of notes here. So the ops OI, we spent about 3 months trying to get that set up. Went through a bunch of different flights, training, sting eval, the ops. So we're trying to combine all the stuff that's important to us, right, in ops. So if you look on your EPUBs and the local KSCU folder, you'll see the new ops OI is actually published in there. So on the last trip, I was actually really surprised how many people have read this, but it breaks down a lot of the responsibilities for crew members, for aircraft commanders, NCOICs on the crew and everything like that. So I'll break some of those down. First, the reason it was created was to define the roles and responsibilities of each section. So like, what's Harry's responsibilities doing ground training and everything? His is broke down. The DOs, the ADOs, my job, SARM and all those, they're all individually broke down. So if you want to know who does what, just look through the ops OI and it's going to define it for us. Chapter 7 is the main one that applies to flight crews. So in there, that's where it talks about like NCOIC roles and responsibilities. So if you're an NCOIC, but a crew, you are now responsible for, of course, all the enlisted guys, but also like getting hotels when you're staying off base, transportation, all that stuff. So it relieves the responsibility on the aircraft commander so they can focus on mission setups, getting your actual crew to wherever they need to be and what they're doing. So NCOIC also backing the pilot up. So the aircraft commander, if you get a setup and it's an illegal setup, especially after like 24-hour days, you may be getting shafted an hour, right? So the NCOIC should be backing up the crew saying, hey, that's not our main 12 hours, we need an additional hour. Especially getting off the jet, sometimes it takes hours, right? So you should have that to consider. Another part of Chapter 7, mandating all crew members attend the intel brief. That's something new, unless you have a specific reason to not go there. This is something that fell off a couple years ago. You're not required to go to the intel briefs. So make sure you show up unless you have some appointment that's not going to allow you to fly, like maybe a flight physical or something. It also protects the crew members 24 hours prior to locals, so you're not scheduled for other events when you should be mission planning and getting ready for the following day. And then reporting procedures, that's something that has been a confusion for the last couple of years. If you get set up from your scheduler and you're now in your alert status, right, the aircraft commander's responsibility is to let you know if something changes. So if you slip for maintenance, dips, weather, whatever it is, that's the aircraft commander's responsibility. Scheduling's not going to be calling you saying, hey, this is your new setup. So just to make sure that's clear. And then for the students, you should be reviewing your training jackets and all your requirements prior to stepping out to the road and going on the mission. So that's in there as well. Also, we have Pelican cases. I brought one in. We have 12 of them. Ms. Christie got these for us extremely quickly. So with the EMVs that we have now, we have EMVs, Microsoft services, and the iPhones that are assigned to each crew. So we got 12 Pelican cases. They're all padded because we already had some that were damaged. So these are for carrying the iPads and everything. So they're not getting damaged on the road because they're very expensive and our budget's of course limited to replace all 12 of them multiple times a year. So we have these in fishbowl, grab one, fill them up, use those. They don't have to be signed out, but make sure you bring them back. Something else, ERCCs every other Wednesday. We're going to be doing engine run crew changes. Something with that is making sure that you're communicating with the inbound crew. So if you're the morning crew and you're going to do an ERCC, the incoming crew should not have to bring a trip kit. You can hand all that stuff over, right? Your iPad holders, your trip kits, all that can be handed over to the next crew. Just communicate that. So you're not showing up now you have 2 trip kits, 6 iPad holders, and all that kind of stuff. And then also make sure you're wearing your mask when you do your changeover because you're going to be face to face, right? For however long it takes to change over the jet. So make sure you're wearing your mask with that. FF Plus program, if you guys have heard that, this is new for incoming engineers. If a new engineer has less than 1,000 hours, he cannot fly solo on a local. So that's something we're tracking in ops. Make sure that the instructors clear you prior, even if you have 100 hours, that they've cleared you to fly by yourself. So you're not going to be doing any jet pickups, that's an FF, any flying locals without 100 hours. So the whole purpose of this is to get more seasoning prior to being flown on your own, because we had some incidents where the new scanner did not know what they should be doing in circumstances. So this is a focus area. So we encourage you to fly as a student, get some seasoning, fly on missions or on additional locals prior to actually starting your training program or once you get in there. And then last thing, the heavy hitter. So our last award for today, the heavy hitter of the month. So we do this every single month. It's for people that are killing it in the office, but they're also flying. So for the month of December, it's going to be Sergeant Ellis. So Sergeant Ellis has, he's online with us right now. He's on a post mission. So we'll see him again on Monday. But in the office, he revamped the CT program for the flight engineers. He also set up all the ground training events. So he's been helping out immensely in training and then also killing it while flying on the road. So give him a round of applause. That's all I have. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Sam.
All right, a few words, guys. A lot of info was pushed today. I'll start off with the want news. Beginning here, UEI next week, right? Unit Effectiveness Inspection. It's going to begin on Monday. It's going to go all the way to Friday. So the good news is since we're in phase 2, HPCon Charlie, Manning, if you don't have to be in here, I'm not going to be looking for you, right? But if you are, you're wearing your mask, okay? And then also, like we passed out during the DOPS debrief 2 weeks ago, there's like the wing mantra, which is trust Travis, there are no bounds. There is, hey, what are the priorities of the 22nd? What's the mission of the 22nd? What's the mission of the wing? Those are going to be pushed out on Slack one more time. So that way, if you're an airman, NCO, lieutenant, or captain that's wandering through the squadron and an inspector stops you and says, hey, are you part of the 22nd? Yes, I am, sir, ma'am. Hey, can you tell me what the wing mantra is? If you say, trust Travis, there are no bounds, they're going to be like, okay, sweet, good answer. Or if you're like, it's like people, mission, something, and they're going to be like, okay, whatever, got it. You know, so it's going to be on the Muley board. It's going to be on Slack. Take a look. If you're in the squadron and someone stops you, don't freak out. You're going to ask a few questions. It's okay. But having that in your mind is going to be helpful, okay? For the rest of us, the flight leadership, flight commanders, squadron leadership, we're going to be getting some interviews. There's already some calendar invites that I pushed out for that. I have no doubt we're going to crush this. We have a massive binder we put together of all our best practices, so the MSTT, the VR training, to everything else we do, Muley clubs, that we're going to give the inspectors and just kind of water their eyes with all the goodness that's in the Double Deuce. So I'm not worried that we're going to crush this thing. So don't freak out if you see an inspector. All right, Muley Day, right? 22nd day of the year. I'm letting you guys have time, right, to go out, join in the chess club, you know, the karaoke club, the biking club, the dog club, everything else that we've started beginning at 11 o'clock today. Right? I'm letting it go an hour early because I know that some folks want to go up to the mountains, do other things to start the weekend. That's the tricky part about having Muley Day on a Friday, okay? Now, like the rules that are in the Muley Club ROI or ROE is you, if you're not going to participate in a Muley Club, hang out, check your email, do work until a normal duty day is complete and you're released by your flight leadership, okay? Keep your mask on so we can stay safe, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're going to join a Muley Club at 11 o'clock, you guys can roll. Here's my ask, okay? Since it is the 22nd day of the year, I want you to do a quick 22-second video, selfie video, or whatever you guys are doing, and post it on your Slack channel for the Muley Clubs, all right? It's the Muley Club presidents, all right? A 22-second video, I'm not gonna count. Do something fun, right? And post it online so I can take a peek and see what you guys are doing and just watch that goodness that's going on today, okay? But if you're not gonna participate, run the squadron, prep for the UEI, do some cleaning in your flights because again, the inspector's gonna walk around and gonna showcase this squadron. We just had a renovation, right? That was close to $1 million. We want to at least keep it clean. Okay, so that's that. The COVID pod number 2. What I mean to that, maybe I should call it 1 Bravo. So if you're a part of that first COVID pod for the vaccine, I'm one of them. On the 28th next week, on Thursday, we're going to get dose number 2, and that completes the boost cycle. Okay, if you are unable to make that, please let the schedulers and let readiness know. They're the ones collecting the numbers. Let readiness know, Captain Vaughn and his team. Know if you're unable to make it on Thursday. If you're not, we're going to write it down. It's no big deal. We're going to push it up and make sure you get priority on the next 2 Bravo, whenever folks get the second booster shot for the Bravo team that went and got it, 2 weeks ago at that pod. Okay, so hopefully that's fairly clear. I'm only tracking 3 folks of the 23 that haven't gotten it. And then if you're a part of that second group that got it a couple weeks ago, in between, I think it was, when was it exactly? It was 2 weeks ago in January. If you're part of that second group, that is going to come in February, whatever the 28th day is. And just stay tuned on what that's going to be. What's that?
5 Feb.
5 Feb. Okay, 5 Feb is that next, the booster for that second group. Okay, rain and snow. I pushed out to the Shred Posse last night a snippet of what the snow load's going to be this weekend, if you will. It's going to be, what, like 82 inches? Something ridiculous in some of the spots. So we're going to get like torrential rain down here, and it's going to be like the Donner Pass, kind of like stuff going on up in the Sierras, okay? So what I mean by that is if you don't know, if you're planning on going up there, which is cool, right? If you're planning on going up to Sierra Nevada to do some skiing, for one, if you don't have like chains, or you don't know what chains are for your tires, get some, okay? Because you're going to need them. It is going to be an absolute cluster, you know what, on 80, on 55 or 51. It's going to be a flipping mess, okay? It's going to be epic, right? Because the snow is going to be righteous, but it's going to be an absolute mess on the transit in and out. And the last thing you want is to get stuck on the side of the road, and it's like 21 degrees outside, and you're like, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I don't have a blanket, this sucks. You know what I mean? And what's worse off is, right, the exposure to the elements, you could die, right? I don't want that. So be smart, think about it. If you're going to stay here locally, there's going to be buttload of rain, okay? So if you want to do some policing around your local area, just prep yourself for that. There could be some local flooding, things like that that's going to be occurring. So just think, that's all I want you to do, be proactive, upstream some of that stuff, get a little survival kit in your car with that water, food, chains, etc. So you're prepped to go. All right, flashlight, batteries, all that normal stuff. Google it, it's on there. It's on the interwebs. Okay. Other than that, I think I did the safety message, so I'm good there. Thanks again to the team for the awards and decks, putting that all together. Everything looks badass. Other than that, execs, is there anything that I'm missing? Okay, Muley Clubs starts at 11. If not, come on and hang out and prep for the UEI. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Carry on.
So,
Hey, Al.